This is where we're up to. So now we're moving forward back from the engine compartment where we're finishing up the exhaust. And you see I have a bunch of blue tape on the interior panel. So the interior panel, provided by RCR, gives the interior a really nice finished look. One issue with it though is the fuel tank sits behind it, and there's really no way to extract the fuel tank out of the car from behind it, where the engine bay is. So, one of my mantras on the car is to make sure that every item is serviceable, that I can get to every item if needed, if it failed or needs improvement. So I've outlined this particular area with some masking tape, and you can see this panel here, and the fuel tank is behind it. So I'm really just going to cut out this panel, and then I want to mount it in a way that it sits flush and it's next to invisible to the eye, so it won't really look like it's separate from the interior tub. All right, so if that is of interest to you, stick around and stay tuned. We'll do a little work in process here. So I've coated the back of the tub with some packing tape, and I'll apply some fiberglass and resin and make a mold sort of this upper area, so that I can put it basically put it on the chassis and see if I could still remove the fuel tank. Okay, so that's what's next. Okay, I layered up about 3 layers of fiberglass on here. No reason to do a particularly neat job, it's just a throwaway mold. So once this dries, we'll break it off and we'll take a look at it on the chassis. Okay, well, we have the throwaway mold in place. I just trimmed it up. Let's see, plenty of room on the side here. Handy dandy or trusty pointer there. So that looks good. Basically, if I tilt this up, it's sort of in this lower area there, it gets caught. But if I slide the tank over, and I have a few inches to do that, it will actually clear this area. So I just have to decide if, in the event that I have to move the tank over in the event that I have to remove the tank, do I mind moving it over? I'm going to have some electronics there that I'll have to move. I'll have to move it a little more than I have my evap canister over there. So I may change the shape of this upper area just so it clears it and it makes it easier to remove. But anyway, I'll think about that, and then I'll mark up the tub, and then I'll show you how I'm going to cut it out. Okay, well, before I start cutting up the interior tub, I took a mold of the bottom section. I just wanted to make sure I can get the tank out, which I can, no problem. There's also an aluminum front closeout panel, and it gets screwed into some holes right around here, so I wanted to make sure this was not too high, so I could just get a straight shot with an Allen head wrench or something like that, and that's good to go. I actually probably raise this up about a ½ an inch. It's a little low, but anyway, the more I think about it, I think I'm going to leave this shape as is, because I have, I can move this over a couple inches and slide it and then tilt it and clear both the bottom and the top areas that are not, they're a little narrower than around the front and the top. But anyway, I think I'm good to go. So I'll show you how I'm going to approach cutting out that panel in the tub. Okay, we're ready to start cutting. Let's see, a couple comments here. Based on that mock-up I made, I did some adjustments on the size of the cutout panel. I raised the bottom lip, I raised the top lip, I brought in the sides a little bit. And let's see, the other thing is I've marked this all up to get cut. I softened the edges up to make them round. Sort of over there. You can see these various black little lines here. Got line there. So I'm going to cut out with the Moto tool along the line, but I'm going to leave those little spots in place. So that should hold the panel in place. It'll stay flush, and then behind the back I'm going to fiberglass what I call the backing strips or bonding strips. So when I attach this panel back in, I have something to attach it to, and it should sit flush with the rest of the tub. Okay, I figured this is worth showing. So I've got it all cut out. It probably took a couple hours. And you can see where the hash marks are. That's where I left the fiberglass. So the panel itself, is still flush. So I'm going to make some backing strips. I mean, this is beautiful. This is a great technique. I learned this from a guy. His name is Johan from Scandinavia. And he did his fender vent cutouts like this. So you could see, a couple sections, not too many sections that are holding this panel in, but it keeps it 100% flush. Okay, we're ready to lay the fiberglass down. Sort of hard to see what we're looking at here, but anyway, I basically taped in the slit, around the slit, so that no fiberglass attaches to the inner panel. It only attaches to 1 inch of the tub. And then I squeeze some modeling clay in each crevice or slit so that none of the resin leaks out of the tub. All right, so I think we're looking good. We've got a little catch can there out of tin foil, so I'll put the fiberglass on, and then we'll take a look. Okay, well, we're looking at my iPad. I forgot to videotape the back of the tub with the fiberglass on, but anyway, as you can see, I basically use fiberglass tape, 2-inch wide fiberglass tape, put some black dye in the fiberglass gel, and basically just overlap the tub by 1 inch and the removable panel by 1 inch, and that forms a little ledge or a backing strip to prevent the panel from falling through. Okay, so anyway, we'll segue over and take a look at the tub. Okay, well, I popped the panel out. It wasn't too hard, actually, and look at this thing. I mean, I'm going to clean it up more. I took all the tape off the panel, but it just sits in there perfectly flush. And let's see, probably just pop it out. There we go. Pop it out from the back. Look at that. So I've got the mounting tabs here, 1 inch around. And if we look around the back, it's basically molded into the tub now. So I'm going to clean this all up. Then we're going to put the tub back in the car, and we'll take a look. And let's squeeze in one more segment here. I always do that, but I trimmed up the area. And this is pretty cool. I mean, so I've got 1 inch of mounting tab for the panel, but it's sort of cool how this just follows the contour. So anyway, it all came out really good. I'm really happy with this. All right, now we'll take a look at it on the car. Okay, well, we've got the tub back in the car, and it is looking good. I mean, plenty of room to service everything in that fuel tank compartment. The aluminum panel that goes over the fuel tank. That may need a little adjustment to fit in, but I'm not too concerned about that. But anyway, this is looking good. So let's see how the removable panel fits. Okay, well, she is all buttoned up. I got the panel back in, and I have to say I am very happy with this. I mean, I don't have anything holding it in, and it's virtually flush everywhere. You know, it may need a little massaging, but it's going to blend in really nicely. You know, if I carpet it, I don't even think, you know, the seam between the tub and that removable panel would even be noticeable. But, you know, when you open those butterfly doors, I didn't want to have something, you know, sort of unsightly in this area there. And I think it's going to work out well. Plus, you know, just having that fuel tank serviceable provides some comfort. So I'm happy I went through the effort of doing this. All right, so we'll call it a wrap. As always, thanks for watching and take care.